Joe Biden, and I love ice cream. What President Trump has done in going his spreading of racism, the way he deals with people based on the color of their skin, their national origin, where they're from, is absolutely sickening. No sitting president has ever done this. Never, never, never. No Republican president has done this. No Democratic president. We have racists, and they've existed. They've tried to get elected president. He's the first one that has. And the way he pits people against one another is all designed to divide the country, divide people, not put them together.
If Haiti, a god-awful thing to say, if Haiti just quietly sunk into the Caribbean or rose up 300 feet, it wouldn't matter a whole lot.
We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids. Wealthy kids, black kids, Asian kids. No, I really mean it, but think how we think about it.
Lobbyists aren't bad people. Special interest groups are not bad people. But guess what? They're corrosive. People who accept the money from them aren't bad people, but it's human nature. You go out, Lynn, and bundle $250,000 for me, all legal, and then you call me after I'm elected and say, Joe, I'd like to come and talk to you about something. You didn't buy me, but it's human nature. You helped me. I'm going to say, sure, Lynn, come on in.
Now is the time to heed the timeless advice from Teddy Roosevelt. Speak softly and carry a big stick. End of quote. I promise you, the president has a big stick. I promise you. This election year, the choice is clear. One man stands ready to deliver change we desperately need. A man I'm proud to call my friend. A man who will be the next president of the United States, Barack America. Corn Pop was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys. And I did, and back in those days, you sure how things had changed. One of the things you had to use, if you used pomade in your hair, you had to wear a baby cap. And he cut off a 6-foot length of chain. He folded up, he said, you walk out with that chain. And you walk to the car and say, you may cut me, man, but I'm gonna wrap this chain around your head. So I walked out with the chain. And I walked up to my car. And those days used to remember the straight race. You'd bang them on the curb, get them rusty, put them in a rain barrel, get them rusty. And to get hot, I got hairy legs that turn, that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
The fact is that what happens now is that we, in fact, have to fundamentally change the culture of how women are treated. No man has a right to raise a hand to a woman in anger other than in self-defense, and that's rarely ever occurs. And so we have to just change the culture, period, and keep punching at it and punching at it and punching at it. That saved billions of gallons of gasoline. I mean, billions of $2.3 billion worth of, $500 billion in savings and 2-point-something billion metric tons of CO2 going in the air.
Tackle the number one job facing the middle class, and it happens to be, as Barack says, a three-letter word: jobs. J-O-B-S.
The younger generation now tells me how tough things are. Give me a break. We can speak out and be more straightforward. I'm not going to be a mule. I got something to do. I got to go do boom, boom, boom.
Hillary Clinton is as qualified or more qualified than I am to be Vice President of the United States of America. Let's get that straight. And quite frankly, it might have been a better pick than me.
I went to the big guys for the money. I was ready to prostitute myself and the men in which I talk about it. But what happened was they said, come back in your 40s, son.
Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night.
Well, folks, eliminate one tax loophole out of $1.6 trillion worth, $1.4 trillion worth. Out of $1.4 billion, $1.4 billion. It's hard to even say it so much. going nuts.
No, let him go. Let him go. Look, the reason I'm on it is because I've been around a long time and I know more than most people know. And I can get things done. That's why I'm running. And you want to check my shape on, let's do push-ups together, man. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do. Damn liar, man. That's not true.
I think I probably have a much higher IQ than you do, I suspect, and I'd be delighted to sit down and compare my IQ to yours if you'd like, Frank.
Hello, we're back. How are you all doing? Once again, we are back. Yeah, there's a census. That's cool. Thank you, Maya. If you would like to fill out the Live Agar community census. Once again, we are back. I finished the Nuzzy book. I'm writing my episode on it. It's great. It's a great time. We love to see it, don't we, folks? What else? I finished the Mussolini show finally, and I was like rewatching it because it's so good, dude. It's so fucking good. I said this before. Is that it's good because it does make you want to be a fascist. Like, that is, it uses the visual medium. But this edit is very funny because it's someone who, like, at the start of it, it's like, I do not endorse violence or fascism.
Is that a brown
Maya,
hair?
thank you. Make Italy great again. It's so peak.
Seguitemi. Il fascismo è il dominio della forza.
Noi abbiamo versato il sangue per la patria. Noi oggi fondiamo i fasci.
I have to watch it again. Every time I start watching it, I have to.
Fascisti. È la volontà di pochi che si impone.
The actor is incredible. Someone said this in the quote tweets that, like, it turns out you take a really attractive actor and make him bald and fat, and it somehow it makes him hotter.
La democrazia
Sopravvive per mia gentile concessione. Per ora vedete di fare i bravi.
Somehow you're right. This somehow it's clear why.
E non importa come il mio tempo è arrivato. Cosa importa se sono diventato l'uomo che odiavo da ragazzo? Io sono una bestia coerente.
oggi nasce il fascismo.
That has been my vocal stim recently, by the way. I've just been walking around my house being like, oggi nasce il fascismo. I hope, like, people can't hear into my apartment.
Tradisco anche me stesso. Ha visto la luce? Ora crede.
Anyway, it's a very good show. I wanna write something about it, maybe. I'm not sure. And it is funny, like, broadly speaking, I think some fascists are obviously fond of it because, like, come on. But it's crazy, like, the Nick Fuentes, like, the Groypers are not especially fond of it. Maybe it's, like, a specific type of, like, the American fascist is not the same as, like, the European one or something. They have something else going on. I think Fuentes especially, like, I wonder why it actually upsets him so much. Okay, Monkey, thank you for the 6 months. Something that does portray really well in the show is like one, how tenuous fascism was, that it was really allowed to have. I mean, the same thing with Nazism. It was really allowed to have a sort of space because the industrialists in the world of old was basically like, well, they are fighting the socialists and the communists, and that is like convenient. So, we'll give them some space. And maybe it's that like it's how tenuous it is, but it's also interesting to think of how like impossible the concept of the March on Rome is, broadly speaking, in the 21st century in like European liberal democratic states. Same with America. Is like the state is just so much stronger. That I mean, I guess in a certain sense the like no, I feel like the way that the black shirts functioned like requires a weak state like Italy in the interwar period, that like can't really deal with. Although simultaneously, like it's not as if the Italian security state couldn't have crushed the fascists. I mean, a part of maybe one of the reasons they didn't, and I think this isn't important for when the March on Rome worked, was that the king was worried about a communist revolution or socialist revolution, and was like, I'm not. If I move in this way, that could destabilize things and cause that. Whereas like modern contemporary states are like really not worried about shit like that. The security, the modern nation state is just like security apparatus is so much stronger. Do you know what I mean? Like a Luigi, there's no world where Luigi does the Luigi thing, and where Luigi's out, as we might call it, in 1924 or whatever, and like doesn't get away with it. Especially given he like got away initially. It's like it's done. Allegedly. You're right. Allegedly. I do think that there was I've only seen stuff like that on Twitter. I need to actually read about it. All the insane stuff about like the body camera, where it's like the cops would walk for like they spent 20 minutes with the bag, and then they turn off their body camera, and then afterwards find the gun. I think I saw a tweet, more likely than not, I think all of this suspicious shit surrounding Luigi isn't that he was like set up particularly. I mean, I guess it's not impossible. It's more that they probably just have like recognition systems, like facial recognition systems at McDonald's, and they don't want to talk about the extra legal surveillance that they use to find him. More than likely, that's probably it. Combined with a bit of like police incompetence, obviously, because gotta have a bit of police incompetence. We can't. I don't know if it's directly Palantir. I mean, that is like the boogeyman, but I'm sure the surveillance apparatus, the extra legal surveillance apparatus, is much bigger than that. But yeah. Anyways, I think maybe like the fascism of the 20th century is so much different than the 21st. It has a particular like aura to it that like the like 21st century fascists can't do the March on Rome. They get into power through like liberal in the neoliberal world, the liberal democratic ways. You look particularly crisp today. Thank you. It is interesting, like, yeah, I like, and also like fascism in the 20s is so fascinating because it's still trying to pretend to be revolutionary. There's this revolutionary aura to it where it's like they replace the working class with like the nation as a concept, as like this can be a revolutionary engine. Ironically, like the Mussolini belief in the 20s was like Italy is a proletarian nation, and then like Britain is like an oligarchical one. And so like we need, for history to happen, the proletarian nation of Italy needs to like take the reins of history. But there's like that sort of thing, like they aren't even pretending that that's the case anymore. It's very similar to the Japanese elites view at the time. Yes, that makes sense. There must be some. It's funny that the people who are saying that like the concept of a proletarian nation is a thing in the very early 20th century are like Japanese, aristocratic class, Italian fascists, and how that kind of changes. Because if you think about it for long enough, it kind of doesn't make any sense. If AI Luigi happened today, he would have a bunch of AI videos that show him in another country on the day of the crime. I feel like crime will become undetectable soon. I feel like the AI isn't quite that good. I feel like it does just get to a point where I actually I do think that there's a possibility that like in terms of like especially actual crime that like AI you could say the same about like Photoshop, right? Like isn't that what people were saying about Photoshop? Is it's like now you won't be able to tell whether a photo is real or not. And it's like, well, I mean, Photoshops can be very convincing and like near undetectable, right? But like, when has someone photoshopped a photo and gotten out of a crime for it? Maybe it's different. Maybe AI is going to be more significant. Like people will be fooled generally. Like misinformation is going to happen. And everyone's brains will be just like turned into mush. But yeah, I don't think you can quite like AI yourself out of. Okay, same with Photoshop. With Photoshop, you needed people to invest labor to make that happen. Yeah, but like not that much labor. In terms of like what we're talking about, you can still get a very convincing image, right? The fake hand tattoo from Garcia that Trump taught it. Yeah, right. Like I think that the tool has kind of already been there in a certain sense. It's just like more democratized, which again I think just leads to the destruction of the the commons, the intellectual common, the public discourse. People just like don't understand what's real or not anymore in a way that they didn't before, because just any asshole can do it. Yeah, I don't know. So in this video they made for the Luigi case, AI could easily replicate it. Yes. But again, like, couldn't they already do that with Photoshop? Like with a photo? I mean, maybe they have been, right? But like, that was everyone is like QAnon now. I mean, this one was just like insane. Like wrap it up. Come on, the Turtle Island Liberation Front. Like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Let's pack it up. You know what I mean? Like, I do find it interesting how like maybe I'm just like not tuned into the parapolitics guys. They seem to be spending way less time on this, and way more time like looking at like a mass shooting where like children, like 16 people died, and like including children, and being like, I don't buy it. Which I think is unfortunate. This is the thing I said. I think everyone is QAnon now. I think I saw this with the fact everyone was saying that the guy who killed Charlie Kirk was a griper. Is that like if an event is politically inconvenient, you can just pretend it's not real, which I think is like the real essence of what it means to be QAnon. Because like events can happen that are politically inconvenient sometimes, and like it's really more everyone is Alex Jones, because it's like, well, we're fighting an information war on the internet. Posting is praxis, and if you concede that a thing happened that's politically inconvenient, then like you are the enemy. You're the enemy in the information war, which like ostensibly is posed in a way of like, well, I'm still uncovering the truth, but in reality it is just like no one believes in anything anymore. Everything is fake. And so like the more people that you can like sigh off with a lie, but it's a lie that's convenient to you, the better. Which I personally think it's not good. There's a bunch of people, like, there's so much to say about the Australia shooting. One of which is like obviously that the like Zionist response of like, see, look at all these leftists from the river to the sea. And it's like, I actually don't think that leftists saying that have anything to do with the guy who's like, I mean, I guess the Australian feds are saying that it's like affiliated with the Islamic State. But this is clearly not like a progressive leftist discourse. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I actually don't think that a guy who is like, maybe like Islamic State affiliated or like appears to be was watching videos from a very like an Islamist cleric or whatever, who was like a big follower of some big like Islamist religious figure, like has any effect is affected in any way by like leftists being like from the river to the sea. I'd like it. This isn't actually about you. Like, if you, the left is, you're not under attack here. That guy is gonna hate Jews. That guy hated Jews before October 7th, right? Like that was already, you know what I mean? It you don't have to. I do think it is a shame, like, that there's a certain respect in which it's like, yeah, I mean, Zionists are getting what they want out of this in so many ways. One of which is like, it's like, well, you know, just the obvious one where it's like, well, you guys are saying anti-Semitism isn't real. This is a mass shooting. And it like, it's so crazy. The people who are like, I mean, obviously this is like anti-Semitic. Like, obviously he was like, well, where's the biggest Jewish event? Like the particularly insane, like, can't decide whether it's like actually they're valid military targets because it's like a Chabad event, which makes you a valid military target, or it actually isn't real. Like, it is like, it didn't happen, but if it did happen, it was good. Like, we're doing that now, and it's like, I think you guys are kind of insane. I think if you believe that, you're an insane person. But like, Zionists are getting what they want in the sense of like, well, and you know, anti-Semitism on the rise, etc. But they're also getting what they want in terms of like the notion of condemning anti-Semitism being like such a thoroughly poisoned well, you know, that leftists think that the reasonable response to this is like, well, clearly that's not anti-Semitic. Clearly it's actually he was killing Zionists. Like, you are agreeing with their frame. Like, I thought this was a big important thing in relation to Palestinian activism, is also condemning anti-Semitism. It was certainly the case before October 7th. Maybe there's a bunch of people who've just started paying attention to this. I know with like BDS institutions, that was like, the people doing like BDS, that was important, was like, we also condemn anti-Semitism. I find it frustrating that like people are just willing to fully and totally concede on that framing that like, yes, condemning anti-Semitism is also condemning you know, like only Zionists condemn anti-Semitism. Everyone else thinks it's not real. But again, like, you are conceding to the Zionist framing. They're getting exactly what they want out of this, right? They're getting exactly what they fucking want out of this. The thing that justifies the state of Israel, right? Like, you are playing into that. I don't see how that works. I don't see how that helps. Beyond the fact that it's like, even barring that, it's like, I mean, no, I do not think that a mass shooting of, just because it's like hosted by Chabad or whatever, of like including like children, is justified. I think that it's not justified, and it's not politically useful. It's both of those things. It is not like, you don't have to take a guy who's like, probably not. I mean, who knows if maybe I just haven't read enough on this, that he's, whether he's actually like affiliated with the Islamic State. It's one of those things where it's like anyone can do something and be like, I did this for ISIS. And they're like, well, it's an ISIS attack. What was I going to say? It's insane. It's fucking insane. You get a spam test from a Zionist organization. Wow. Makes you think. Yeah, it's just like, it's fucking insane that that people's immediate response was like, "Oh, I'm not buying it." The one where it was like, what was the guy who was posting like, if you look, they people, according to the Google search trends, people were searching his name searching the shooter's name an hour before it became publicly available. Here we go. Navita Kram was published so quickly by Australia's. I don't know why, but that's the same name appears according to public available Google search date. Searched multiple times by multiple users in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv on December 10th, and again on December 13th, the day before the attack. Which it's like, what? So they're just like, the people who were in on it are just Googling his fucking name? Because like they're like, he's a patsy and he's hired, like, because again, like, morally speaking, Israel's not below killing 15 people and things of, you know, even you, like, obviously not. But like, why would this be evidence that that's the case? Like, you cannot automatically assume, because like, beyond anything else, beyond the fact that it's just like morally, like, there's a reason why the shit that Alex Jones does is bad, and it's not just because it's wrong. It's just because it's incorrect. Like, it is morally wrong. But beyond that, it's just like, that doesn't make sense. Like, yeah, now for the clues. Yeah. It doesn't make sense. It's just like, they're Googling is Navita Kram a convincing name for a shooter. Yeah. Like, it's so, yeah, it's one of the stupidest fucking things I've seen in my entire life. It's everyone's QAnon now, and it makes me feel like I'm going insane. It's getting so bad. I like, people just saw what happened with QAnon, presumably, and with how good the right is at conspiratorial thinking. How many people they convinced, and it's just like, well, why can't we do that? It's not fair that we have to like actually care about what happens empirically in the world, the truth of a situation. I'm saying all this because I was sharing one of the Turtle Island Vancouver chapter. The fact that it's called Turtle Island is like, it's like, wrap it up, guys. Like, come on. Let's wrap it up, man. Like, that's not. Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say about that? It's so frustrating. Like, I don't know, like, it's like, am I taking crazy pills? That like, there are people where it's like, you look at them and it's like, this person is followed by 200. It's like, they're on left Twitter. They're like left Twitter guys who are like, probably something isn't. What was that one guy who was like, one of the reasons it was suspicious was because it was like a government beach. Like, it was so bizarre. Like, it's not an especially implausible event. It was just a Jewish area in what I can't remember which city in Australia. So it's a Jewish area. It was a public Jewish event. I mean, like, I get like, that is one problem with a lot of Jewish community internationally, is like, a lot of it is attached to Israel. I don't think that we are willing to deal with the logical consequences of like, but that makes those people valid military targets. It doesn't make, I mean, first off, it doesn't make sense, because it's like, what are you targeting? Like, when we really did it, Israel is destroyed now. You like, I don't know. I feel like I have more thoughts on this, but it's just, yeah, one of those Holocaust survivors. I get like, that's really great for the anti-Zionist, right? Like, I don't think so. Anyway, it's not good, folks. It's not good. Yeah, no, it's incredibly bad, folks. It's impossible to find a synagogue that isn't Zionist, which is an entirely different, discussion. It's not good. That doesn't mean that every synagogue is a valid military target. That's like absurd. I thought that we understood this. Anyway, what else is happening on the internet? This video is killing me.
How do you think they created that subconscious guilt?
Really makes you think. Yeah, I was trying to think of the everyone's saying there's a mass shooting in Australia, therefore gun control is ineffective. I mean, that's an extra insane take. That is why it's great, like the scale of it, especially in Australia, it's like the second largest mass shooting in Australia. Oh my god. Is this the press secretary? Why does this photo exist? I love being bored. I love, like, for Vanity Fair, why not? I love not having to do fillers. Being born from the is this a worldwide Latino belt thing? That like I have never needed fillers. No 28-year-old needs fillers. First off, I'm 27. I don't think I'll ever need fillers. I'm skeptical of that. Don't like shaming. Yeah, no, it's not a good look. Does this come from like shitty fillers? Oh, she's 28. Oh, youch. Youch. I see. I thought you were... I see. I had to make it about me, which confused... Yeah. No, that's rough. See, like, this is why I was watching season 3 of Twin Peaks. You can tell which of the actresses are like mega. Do you know what I mean? You can tell that Audrey, the actress, is like a Republican. Do you know what I mean? Not to be like just very rude. For the question about interviews, Miss Wiles offered pungent assessment of the president on his team. Mr. Trump has an alcoholic personality. J.D. Vance has been a conspiracy theorist for a decade. And conversion from Trump critic to ally was based on principles, but was sort of political because he was running for Senate. Elon Musk is an avowed ketamine user. Wait, hold on. Whoa. It's like the thing where it's like, X beat women and Biggie was fat. An odd duck whose actions are not always rational and left her aghast. Russell T. Vogt, the budget director, is a right-wing absolute zealot, and Attorney General Pam Bondi completely whiffed in handling the Epstein files. That's true. That's the is that chief of staff? Oh, I see. It's a hit piece, so that's like slanderous that they're posting that. I see. I didn't look at it. I mean, that's true. That's true. That's nothing but the facts, folks. How old am I? I just told you. His current chief of staff? That's so funny. I wonder how they got that. I'm sure he'll just say it's fake news, but it's very funny. I mean, America's like culturally segregated. It's like completely divided. I finished the Nuzzy book. Olivia Nuzzy, folks. It was really terrible. I read a good review, or I saw the title. I didn't want to read a review before I've like done talking about it because I don't want to copy someone, which is maybe silly. But like the most offensive thing about the book is that it's boring, and I think I agree with that. Like it has the audacity to be boring. Is that maybe what it was? It was something like that. And I completely agree with that assessment. It's like She is just fundamentally an uninteresting person and doesn't have anything to say, even when something like somewhat interesting happened to her. Yes, the Adam Friedland interview. Do we know when that's happening? Because I need to wait for that to come out before we record the episode. Because I mean, come on, I can't miss that. It's sometime this week, right? It's this week. Trump's totally my bitch, and other wild quotes from Susie Wild. That's so beast. I love that Adam Friedland quote tweeted this and was like, it's actually a talk show, not a podcast. This one's really funny. Yes, this is a great video.
Everyone at Twin Peaks, to all the Allied forces out there in the Middle East. We want you to know that you're missed, you're loved. I want you to come home soon.
Here's your pie, Agent Cooper.
Well, thanks, Shelley. Say hello to the Allied forces out there in the Middle East.
Hi, guys. Keep doing a great job.
Good work. And from the crew as well.
Bobby Briggs was in the back because he does not fuck with imperialism. It's canon. I mean, he is an FBI agent. No, he's clapping. Oh, you're right. It's over. This is. I think people did think that this was in their defense. In my goat's defense, people thought this was about the aughts Gulf War. I think people don't appreciate the extent to which that was just like. I mean, that doesn't make it any better. Listen. It was the one in the It was the one in the 90s. David Lynch sent all his money to a fucking cult that indoctrinates children around the globe. I feel like that's the least surprising thing I've heard in my entire life. Why would it be the aughts Gulf War? Because Zoomers only know about that one. They don't know that there were two of them. Transcendental meditation. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of a kook. Anyway. He was a kook. R.I.P. R.I.P. to a real one. I mean, that is the central premise of Twin Peaks is like the FBI is here to save you. I guess it's not especially surprising. Dale Cooper was on the flight logs. Dale Cooper was on. I was on Little St. James Island, but like just to give like the girls there like a motivational speech. to be a father figure for them. Diane landing on Little St. James now. That's the plot of The Return. Yeah, he's returning from Epstein Island. He's giving them discipline and structure in a non-sexual way. Exactly. I didn't realize that Epstein... I was reading Epstein's Wikipedia page because I haven't been scrolling. And I just like got the Wikipedia app. You know what's fucked up? You guys want to hear something fucked up? Someone stole the Liv Agar username on Wikipedia. So there's someone out there whose name is Liv Agar on Wikipedia, and it's not me. Mine is Liv Agar Actual. I had to like Liv Agar for real. It's fucked up. I should be able to do something about that. Someone is impersonating me. Yeah, it's the Croatian version. I should copyright my name. True. What was I gonna say? I didn't realize that Epstein, like, the original job that he got, it was like as a math professor, was potentially appointed by like an OSS guy. He was appointed as a math tutor by fucking OSS guy, or it was when he was a professor because he was a tutor before. That's like old school intelligence. Like he goes back, and also that like when he was like a professor, that apparently he was going to like high school parties. Like he was the adult that goes to the high school parties to at the boarding school. He was the adult that goes to the high school parties to. That is the thing you need to like. That is important to understand about Epstein, is that he was a fucking loser. Like he was an insane loser. That is the thing. I don't like the sexological explanation of pedophilia where they're like, oh, it's kind of like homosexuality. It's just like a thing that you're born with, and it's a desire that can't be affected. And, you know, they're the non-offending ones, and they're not. Like, I think that you do, like, if there is a non-offending pedophile, if that's a concept that exists, they are a different clinical entity to, like, the offending ones who are just, like, sociopaths. Like, who are just deeply sadistic people who want to control, who like, enjoy controlling. Yeah, power and or taboo. Yeah. Yeah, the romanticization that a lot of those, like, including, by the way, Ray Blanchard is one of the important, like, writers on this subject. They treat it as like, well, it's just a thing that you need to treat, and you can prevent someone from offending in the same way that, like, well, not exactly the same way, because they didn't think this about, but even like James Cantor, who's like himself gay and also a part of like anti-trans stuff, like literally was like it should be it should be seen as a part of the LGBT, as like a defense. And I think like that discourse has gotten a lot more credit in like maybe leftist spaces, because it's like, well, this is the carceral explanation, is like they can be rehabilitated. But I think it's a lot more complicated than that. I don't know, like rehabilitating someone who's like deeply sadistic, and like gets off on controlling someone and bending them to their will. It's a lot harder of a problem to understand than like, you know, someone who's addicted to something, you know, like that sort of treatment. That was one big thing that you would see, like when I was researching the anti-trans stuff, that like there's a surprisingly large amount of rehabilitation is by no means anti-carceral. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's like the pseudo. Because you're right, this is a discourse that develops in like the 70s, in like particularly around Toronto, but by like psychiatrists who are working in prisons and who believe in the prison. That's a good point. It is a discourse that became popular with some like restorative justice people, I think, because it's an easier conclusion to come to. That it's like, well, look, it's a desire, and we can make someone not act on their desire. In the same way that you can get someone, you know, not exactly the same, but like not addicted to something. Like it's just, and yeah, I think a lot of the like they're all like self-proclaimed non-offending pedophiles. And I think it's a combination of like someone who's like lying, but then also probably someone who just has OCD. Like I would imagine that that's like a big component of that. I think that the sexologists like see sexuality in a way that is wrong, is like fundamentally wrong, where they see these like social results and these distinct social categories of people and assume like, well, there must be something about the structure of like the human brain or human socialization itself that creates these distinct categories. I mean, it's like, you know, it's the Marxist critique that like people assume that these human social relations that they see now are inevitable and not like very historically contingent and a product of a contingent social historical context. It's why when they try to make the AGP, you know, HSTS distinction, like they were saying like someone who transitions early in brackets before 30, you know, like before the age of 40, is clearly in this the HSTS, but then it turns out that like the onset age of transition is a deeply social thing. It's a deep response to social pressures, and like if someone was previously a gay man in the 70s, they would have much less to lose medically transitioning than someone who was like attracted to women. And so that distinction that is purely like can be purely made sense of in reference to social relations that are contingent and can change, in relation to homophobia and the constraints on certain sexual acts. How did I set up that sentence? I can't remember. My brain is still firing up. They explain it by saying that it must be it must be like a product of the structure of the brain itself. This is inevitable that these people act in this way. Anyway, I think if Jeffrey Epstein ever got lonely? That's a great question. That's a really great question. Do I follow the transgender? I guess so, like somewhat. Not like that much. The Trump stuff is another thing that was fucking insane. His response to what was that the actor and his like wife who were just like brutally murdered. Rob Reiner. Do we know is a director? I don't know movies. Meathead from All the Family, that means nothing to me. Where's the Trump tweet? Because it's unreal. It's like, it's fucking unreal, dude. It is funny, like, I mean, the people who support Trump at this point are all in. But it's funny, like, seeing people try to kind of hand wave about it. Let me find it. He directed Princess Bride. Okay, yeah, that's a classic. I know that one. A classic, folks. A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away, together with his wife Michelle, reportedly due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable with the mind crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome. Like, he got brutally stabbed to death. Like, it's fucking insane. It's genuinely like I didn't think that Trump was capable of this. I didn't think, and he doubled down. People were asking him about it, and he was like, "It's the TDS, folks." He's saying he was so angry about Trump that other people started to hate him, which caused those other people to brutally murder him. It's unreal. It's genuinely like. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession with President Donald J. Trump. Was it his son who killed Jesus? I hate my chud son who has to kill me for having Trump derangement syndrome. Do we know why? I didn't, honestly, I did not look into it that much. Ruthless, but at a time when America requires a ruthless leader. I mean, it's pure cope. Like, he had addiction. Okay. I mean, I guess that doesn't really, but it's like, I guess something bad was happening. And TDS. Yeah, of course. We can't forget TDS. Yeah, I mean, it's unreal. What is the Fox News coverage? Is it just like not talking about it? It's like, well, yeah, it's wild. It's crazy, folks. I mean, I think Trump is partially like, he's always been like a deeply immoral person, but I think he is just like losing his mind. Because that's obviously like, he's not reading the room on this one. I mean, I guess it doesn't fucking matter. That was the thing about, like, I'm not saying that this means that the thing that's going to happen is good necessarily, but, like, the stuff about him, like, running again, it's like, he won't be mentally, like, it's going to be, like, possibly worse than Biden, maybe. At least comparable to Biden. Like, he's not going to be there. The idea of them, like, what's more than likely going to happen is he'll just get a candidate that, like, is his chosen one. And he'll be like this kind of senile shadow president. Yeah, Kanye West, exactly. No, Trump hates Kanye because he tried to run for president. He'll choose a champion. Nick Fuentes, no. Because, like, yeah, I mean, it is clear that in 2028, like, more than likely they will double down on whatever's going on with Trump politically. So it's like this sort of, like, nativist fascism, destroying, cracking down on human rights, the civil liberties, etc. They're going to weaken at Bernieism, yeah. 28 is a wash. I mean, I feel like I'm refusing to actually be optimistic about that. Like, we're gonna get like the Platner style, like, stupid progressive populism as a president, like the farce to Bernie's tragedy. As if, I mean, I guess Bernie's also very farcical, but like, he'll become whoever that will become the president. Slopulism is a great one. Wasn't, like, slop the word of the year or something? I don't think AOC wants to run. Maybe she will. It was. It's funny. Like, people have used the term slop before, goy slop, but, like, because I saw someone being like, I was using slop before that. I think the goy slop thing comes from using slop as, like, a suffix. Something slop. Which I do think was one of the reasons why, probably the main reason why it became such a popular, like, word. Slopulism is more like when white people... Slopulism is whatever you want it to be. Because it's not actually real. Hog slop. Oh, was it before that? Maybe I'm wrong. Because it does seem like a word that people have said for a long time. And then, like, goy slop was what popularized it more so. I mean, that totally tracks to me. That's not crazy. Because, I mean, slop as a term, is not... It's been used for a long time. Sloppy steaks, that's a classic. Slop is starting to, like, sound like a different word now to me. Goy block is very funny. AI slop. Yes, no, AI slop became, like, the main usage of the term, I think. I think that's true. Game Awards discourse. Is there discourse about it? I haven't been on Twitter as much. There's the Photor is coming out. That's cool. That's exciting. We like Photor, don't we, folks? The more like the gay awards, exactly. Expedition 33. I don't know what that is. I think I'm too old. I'm too old for this. What's my take on Cena tapping Liv? I don't know what those... Is this did Livy Dunn riz up John Cena?
Very special announcement to share with you. This year, the stars aligned for some very magical things to happen at our anniversary show. Things that might not have ever seemed a possibility. If you truly love video games like I do, this moment is for all of us.
I don't know what any of this means. This is like is this an epic clapback? I don't know who this guy is. I feel completely out of place here. Sorry, maybe I'm too normie for your people's tastes. Sorry. He's Mr. Video Games. The only game Josh wrote a good piece about Paradox games. And how like all of the young conservatives have been raised on like Hoi 4 brain. That it's like a profoundly influential, and I think that's true. Paywalled, will I support my friends? Can I read it on stream? I guess that would be...
I am gay!
Chelsea Victory, thank you. That would be bag stealing, I think. I think the argument is probably... I don't know the extent to which it's influential, though. I would be one... Because I know, like, the Hoi 4 braid is definitely a thing, and you can recognize it. You even see, like, the way that, like, some like Russian politician was talking about Russian invasion, where it's like, this is literally Hoi 4 brain. And it is a popular game in Russia. But yeah, I mean, I think it's like, I've definitely seen that. I think that it's good that someone articulated that argument, because it's a thing that I've seen that's like very clear. The point about the fact that Paradox was like working towards like actually good grand strategy simulations, and they were like, well, if we like make Hitler the game, it'll sell a lot more. It's something I didn't think about, because Victoria 2 is like an incredible game. And then they really took a break from doing like actually ambitious grand strategy simulations, because Hearts of Iron 4 is an absurdly successful game, especially for like how much money they put into it. I love the line. He has a line. Oh, is there something stuck in my teeth? I will... Attingementum Substack. There's one line that I thought was extremely funny that I will read. Hearts of Iron 4, by contrast, is the game for morons that has seemingly been designed by morons. As someone who has 1,000 hours in that game, I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, there's a reason why that game could only really be... Like, if someone has, like, 1,000 hours in, like, vanilla Hearts of Iron 4, it's because they are a sociopath. Like, that is a Nazi. That is Adolf Hitler.
I am gay!
Yakman, thank you for the 13 months. I mean, I don't know. I think, like, the people responding to that didn't actually read the article. And, like, everyone... The annoying thing is that, like, everyone on the left who plays Paradox games, like, vaguely agrees with the thesis that, like, Paradox Brain has, like, ruined a bunch of, like, terminally online, like, rightists. That it's, like, made them go insane in a very particular way. They're blaming... Nick Reiner stormed off after getting into tiff with comedian Bill Hader. I feel like that doesn't... like... Isn't it he's just not doing well? Like, yeah, of course he's fighting people. The implication... I can link the article. How a Swedish video game company accidentally molded the American right. I do think there's something that's important. I wish that he talked about... Maybe this is like something I can do, like... specifically the New Order. Although, I guess it makes sense that he doesn't talk about this, because he didn't play any Hoi 4. Because, like, the New Order mod, like... all of the Hyperborea edits, all of the Agartha edits are, like... can trace their origin to that specific Hearts of Iron 4 mod. I've talked about this many times before. I was talking about it fucking 4 years ago when it started to become a thing. And I was like, well, this is probably bad. And it's just... like, now, like, Republican staffers are making video edits. Video essays is a very funny idea. Video edits that were, like, inspired by this. There's for those of you who don't know, there's a mod to the World War II simulator, Hearts of Iron 4, that's like, what if Germany won World War II? And the point in this game is that it's really bad. That, like, there's creeping, right-wing authoritarian fascism everywhere. It's very terrible. Russia is still disunified because the Nazis are just doing indiscriminate terror bombings. And a bunch of different factions, when the Nazis go into a civil war after Hitler dies in the 60s, which is very silly, a bunch of different factions of a bunch of absurd, widely varying ideologies fight to try to unify Russia. And one of them, the most absurd, the most like Reddit bacon, is a sub-faction of like these Aryan LARPers who are like actually Slavs are the real Aryans. And then someone can coup the main faction, who's this like Perun like fascist, ultranationalist like pagan guy. And then like there's a big unification thing, a text that displays, and like the name of the state when it forms is Hyperborea. The new order. Or for super event. You can see even like this specific like 90s Perron, exactly. This like specific 90s fascist like art is used a bunch in those edits as well. Like you've seen, I'm sure you've seen, you know, like the edit, it's like, you know, Aryan Kamala Harris and like Trump is hanging himself, and it's like behind this specifically. And even like the song as well is used in it a lot too. Hyperborea was a thing in Greek mythology. It's like a world beyond the boreal winds, so it's like very snowy, but it's also not cold. And the Greeks believed, what was it, the like giants lived there, who worshipped the god Apollo, I think. It's one of the like Greek mythological like faraway realms where there's like no strife or pain. And so the like fascist, the Slavic fascist mythology, it's like, yeah, that was us. They were talking about us. That's kind of the bit there. They were trying to invent Minnesota. That's true. That's so true. Agartha is another one. It's a different. Agartha isn't an ancient Greek one, but it's like similarly like the Theosophists and later the Ariosophists, like weird Blavatsky, like esoteric secret society stuff, become obsessed with, among other things, Hyperborea as well as Atlantis. And then a lot of like early Nazis were into theosophy, and they made their own like Ariosophy, study of ancient Aryan knowledge. What's Hoi Forbrain? What's a good example of this? Hoi Forbrain is the assumption that like, well, surely Russia is going to stomp and destroy Ukraine. What if ULTS is a great example? Surely Russia is going to like stomp and destroy Ukraine because they have a bigger population, they have more military factories, and they have more units. Like very simple, like very simple, like also not really thinking about the internal politics of a country. Very simple kind of sandbox image of warfare. Is maybe the best way of, yes, siege Leningrad instead of taking it is another one. Like that's a classic Hoi Forbrain. Take Leningrad directly. What does that mean? Take Leningrad immediately, don't siege it. Like this guy, this is very peak Hoi Forbrain. How Hitler could have won. Terror bomb Britain, don't terror bomb Britain, focus on our facilities, demand Mussolini not be with the Balkans. Don't siege Leningrad, take it immediately. Zurich West Stalingrad to cut Soviet oil. Ally with Slavs against commies, ignore Africa. Like things that you would do in Hoi For, right? Only the first one makes sense. I don't think so. I think that they just didn't have enough. The Nazis didn't have enough just bombers in general to maintain superiority. It's also just very difficult to hit the RAF facilities compared to terror bombing. Like, those are harder to targets to... Like, I just don't think it was going to work. Like, this rush to Stalingrad to cut off Soviet oil is a great example of 44 brain. Because it's like, that would work, especially in the older patches of 44 with, like, supply lines. And it's like, well, the AI isn't going to make, like, a really big push against you. But ironically, I mean, that's kind of what they did. That's why they fucked up, is they went really way too quickly, and then they went beyond their supply lines and easily cut off. Ally with Slavs, again, it's like, you're not thinking about the internal politics of a country. You're just thinking like oh, clearly we could pop out a tag in Ukraine that had the Nazi thing and it can join our alliance. Like, it's like, well, the Nazi ideology did not allow for... Among other reasons, the Nazi ideology did not allow for collaboration with the Slavs. Collaboration with Slavic nationalists. Implying they were like a big enough force to ally with, to make... Accounts are now posting these fucking memes. You can see how it develops out of like the ironic, the New Order, Hearts of Iron 4 mod memes. Yeah, so now there's like Yakuba's involved. I think the Mussolini show is just this for the budget. Exactly. The Mussolini show is so well done. My understanding is like Mussolini had like a regional, was it Romagna, like dialect, and like the actor in it like gets, I mean, I can't detect it because I don't fucking speak Italian. Like the what's it called? The actor like gets the, if you speak Italian, it's an extra level. The end bit, the end of the season, we have to watch that. It's so peak. The end of season 1, for spoilers in case you don't know what happens. It's right after it seems like it was either Mussolini, we're not really sure historically, or one of his henchmen directly orders the killing of Matteotti, like the main socialist party kind of opposition. And they fuck it up, and it gets immediately attached to Mussolini. And so he has this speech in Parliament where he essentially like functionally takes credit for it. He takes credit for violence in general, and then like basically formally declares a dictatorship. It's like, is anyone going to stop me? And they don't. It's called Son of the Century. In the end bit, it's, this whole thing is it's so good, dude. It's a quite, like, I do enjoy that it's quite accurate. And it also does show, like, even Mussolini himself was saying, like, a couple people could have worked decisively to take, like, to destroy, like, the hold he had over the state at this moment because of how weak it was. But they didn't. They just, the opposition, I think one of the main reasons is a combination of, like, the king was ineffectual moron, who's much more worried about the communists. The industrialists were broadly, I think, fine with Mussolini. One of the reasons is because of corporatism. Like, corporatism actually gives, like, the industrial class a role in public life that is explicit, as opposed to, like, implicit. And then the left opposition at this point was just, like, completely ineffectual, especially at, like, in the on the ground. I'm not entirely sure why that is. I would assume it's a combination of, like, the successive fascist paramilitary squads, and the fact that the state was like, well, we're kind of fine with the fascists growing because they fight the communists, and we're going to mainly crack down on the communists. I will never know what happened because it was cancelled. It's Jover. But he's coming to make his speech. Everyone thinks he's going to resign because it's clear that he's been connected to the murder of the left opposition. That was a bit too much. Do you know what I mean? I do agree. I do agree with what Nick Forte said. He had to stop watching when that happened. I think it's because this show makes him uncomfortable, which is, it's interesting to think about why that is. But it was a little much. It was a little much. I also didn't realize that this lady is Jewish. That, like, Safarati or whatever, what's her name? The Jewish mother of fascism is what they call her. I love Italian. I agree. Sorry, I'm gonna pause again. Throughout the entire thing, I was, like, repeating Italian words. It's such a fun. Il fascismo. It is a much more aura. You get. That was the end. It's so peak. It's so peak, dude. Oh my god. Gallery of Cowards, yeah. I mean, there are multiple instances. I think, again, the show shows this really well, where, like, Mussolini was in a very tenuous position, but it was through, like, it's like sheer confidence and luck that he managed to, like, push through and deal with the. We're gonna watch this for free. I do not know. I got it. There's, like, it was like Mubi or something, and I got a 7-day trial. It's all for free. It's all on Bloopy. It's all on Pooble. Yeah. Ridiculous. Yeah. I don't know why they can't just give them normal names. When's the house music production stream live? Anytime now. I like that you clocked that I'm that type of transsexual. It's all on Yoni, yeah. I definitely sometimes feel the like lapel de vide about that, of like, get a DJ set. Get a DJ set. I'm like, no, I have to fight it. Just a voice in my ear at night when I close my eyes. Does anyone else get that, where like when you're going to sleep you get like auditory hallucinations? Like is this like an insane thing, or is this normal? Like you start hearing things when you're like in that state where you're almost going to sleep. No, not dreams. Like you're not asleep yet, but like you start hearing things. It's pretty common. Okay. Same kind of house music is many such cases. No, I'm insane. Yeah, that's probably true. That is probably just true. Yep. Fact checked. Fact checked is true. Explosive head syndrome. I think I've gotten that before. Two things can be true at once. Many such cases of things being true. I'm hearing Nuzzy out loud. Nuzzy audiobook. Yeah. Oh yeah, there was the Chile elections or whatever, which now has made the line. I mean, this is why social democracy doesn't work by the way. Someone made it was 2 years ago, and it was like the whole continent was pink, like broadly. This is why it doesn't work. This is why social democracy doesn't work. Because you lose it, and then the reforms get dismantled, and then you get what Denmark is right now. I the legend is it's red and it's blue. I also do like that France is a part of the pink wave, the Latin American pink wave here. Macron has joined the resistance. Derecha. I don't know what derecha means, but it's he's doing the Hitler salute. That's good. Derecha is right? Okay. It's droite, I guess, the cognates. That's a good drawing. Izquierda. Oh, okay, that's way different. That's not the same. Anyway, izquierda. That is, I say I didn't learn how to roll my R's. I don't know how to do that. I feel like that would go hard. Means the direction and the concept. I mean, that's the case in most Latin languages, is it not? I mean, the same with gauche, nouvelle droite. Same with Germanic languages. Yeah, is there any language where that's not the case? Presumably. Because it literally is it's from the direction. Left and right are from the direction. It's you sat on the left side of the bench or the right side. Anyway, really makes you think. One thing that makes me think, you don't realize until you pay attention to how metaphorical the English language is, because you just don't think of the metaphors. But I feel like it's a very metaphorical language. Very idiomatic. Yes, a lot of idioms. I imagine that'd be strange learning the language. Is it like in French, forward is all right, tout droit, which I feel would be so fucking confusing. Maybe that's just a French thing. Is that where all right comes from in English? Maybe not. I don't know. English is also just interesting because of how many how many languages it sources its etymology from, which is just a product of the fact that like a bunch of people were migrating and conquering onto the island. It's just a fun thing to do for like 1,000 years, was like, let's just conquer a chunk of Great Britain. And derecha means right, as in Bill of Rights. It's the same with French, I believe. Yeah, I guess that's the more interesting one, is because I know it's the same in German. Your rights and freedoms. It is like your rights, as in, can we get conquered again by Canada? Sure. I like the implication that Canada has conquered Great Britain at some point. But like, sure, why not? Let's do it. Derechos. I do love there was a video of like Hassan who, like, understanding Spanish pronunciation but like not knowing what he's saying, which is like a really dangerous. I was thinking about that. That's like a very dangerous game to play, isn't it? Like if you try to pronounce a Spanish sentence, you don't know like how to pronounce it, even if it's like problematic. It's like, well, you don't know what's going on. If you're good at if you're good at pronouncing it properly. Oh yeah, there's a census for the community if you want to fill it out. Make a graph. Thank you, Maya. We'd have communism by now if those French revolutionaries sat on the right side. True. You're recognizing how Chile is pronounced and not like the country. Like he's saying it like AAVE. Like he's dude, did that happen? Is that true? I don't believe you. Don't say it. I wasn't gonna say it. I was not going to bust out my AAV. That's extremely funny. Oh, he was using AAV, but it's the other direction makes a lot more sense to me. I was thinking that he was like talking about the country Chile, but then saying like the AAV word. Which is a much funnier than the inverse, which I assumed the inverse, I'm sure that's happened 100 million times. Reading an AMV like tweet or something and then saying Chile. Dennis Villanueve, that's awesome. Quebecois are Latino, and that is actually true, by the way. As in, like, the concept of Latino comes from the like Maximilian like emperorship in Mexico, where they were trying to develop like a pan Latin speaking identity in the New World, to basically be like, look, I may be a French king, this may be a French administration, but like we're all Latinx. Do you know what I mean? So that is in the original articulation of the concept Latino. It is the French are Latino. That is the distinction. That is the distinction in America. The most important one in the Americas is Germanic America and then Latin America. And Quebec is a part of Latin America, as far as I'm concerned. Honestly, if you go to like Quebec, I think that is like, I think you are more likely to say that is kind of true if you visit Quebec, especially like a non-Anglo, but even Montreal. There's no other part, like Like there is a Latin Quarter in Montreal. It's like Portuguese and Spanish. I think mainly Portuguese. Like it's used. Like Spanish and Portuguese are used. Which I feel like I would see in any other Canadian country. Trump new executive order, the Quebecois are now Latino. You know what's funny? It's entirely unrelated. I was watching Jeopardy this morning. Dr. Pepper, thank you. And it's like the tournament of, like, they're doing the one where it's like people who had a lot of promise but then lost early. And one of the guys was fucking Garrett from Community, which I thought was very funny. I was like, is that the Community guy? And it was. So of course Garrett from Community, you know, like the nerdy glasses guy, Crisis Alert. Yeah, exactly, that guy. What was I gonna say? Sorry, I got a text and then apparently he knows a lot about trivia, which I guess that's perfect. Bring back the Rick Mercer report. Yeah, like he has to come back because like how Jon Stewart did. Let's just do that again. Why not? Ugh. Oh, I'm going on Chapo again, I think, which should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I think so. We'll see. Anyway, what was I talking about? Is Jeopardy. Not for Nuzzy, although I hope we talk about Nuzzy. It's so fucking funny, dude. It's so, the more I think about I think one of my favorite Nuzzy things is, for some reason she put this in her fucking book. It's a good description, good explainer or sample of what was going on. Is there's a bit where she's just like looking for the WWE Hall of Fame, where she's like, where is it? And then some lady is like, it's not a physical thing. You can't find it. And she was like, oh, okay. And then she puts like that conversation in the book. I don't know why. It doesn't, you see it. It's a list of people. It's not a place. Yeah. You see it and you're like maybe without context, you're like, this must make it doesn't make any more sense in the context of the book. It makes no extraditional sense. Humanizing myself by showing him a dumbass. There's a lot of that. That's the the problem with Nuzzy is that she wants to make this like portrait of like a disgraced, journalist, but like she is not sorry at all for anything. She's like, it was fine. It was good. And I'm a victim. Like that is her belief. And like, when you describe the events, it's clear that like, there's a lot more than that. Like her actively helping, and she mentions this, she's actively helping RFK in his like, cause she's like deeply in love with him, actively helping RFK in his fucking, presidential campaign. And then also helping RFK, consolidate into the Trump camp. And it's like, there's no like, it's trying to be like, in a certain way, the thing that happened to me is the same as January 6th. It's like, I got January 6th too. Like I fell under the spell of, but it's like, it sounds like it's pretty easy to not fall in love with RFK Jr. I shot Ashley Babbitt too. Yeah. What's more, it's not that she's yeah, I guess I shot Ashley. Yeah. Like she is one of the security guards defending the Capitol. That's kind of how she wants to contextualize it. And it's like, I don't like, the real thing about her and RFK is that RFK Jr. just has like male BPD. And she is just clearly like very attached to people who have like an intense style of like romantic attachment. Like she's just attracted to that intensity, even if it's coming from like RFK. God forbid, yeah. What is male BPD? It's just BPD, but it's a guy. The difference is that it shows socially in a way where like you're just allowed to get away with a bunch of shit. It's not actually any different. Where it's like, oh, he's just. She describes her type more like a cluster, and it's exact. I mean, genuinely, yes, that's pretty much it. The brain worm comes up because it's not real, and RFK always knew that it wasn't real, and RFK was just using it to try to not have to pay alimony to his ex-wife. It's funny, even in the book, she talks about the fact that like she had the source, the big story about RFK that like helped tank his like presidency was that like he killed a bear and then like staged it in a weird way in Central Park, and like Nuzzy knew about that early, and instead of reporting it, tried to get the story killed. She was like, oh no, it'll destroy the career of my beautiful 70-year-old boy. The other one that's crazy is that she had a story like apparently RFK Jr.'s vice president or like vice presidential candidate cheated on her husband with Elon Musk as well. And like she knew this. And in fact, a staffer apparently confronted her about it and was like, I'm going to go tell the press. And she talked him down. So she had that story killed. That RFK Jr.'s VP pick like cheated with Elon Musk. So it's like, why did I say ask you to a typewriter? I did not write it. I couldn't tell you. Girls supporting girls. Exactly. Yeah, so wasn't she a Google exec, the VP pick? Maybe. Because like, her husband is like Silicon Valley as well. But yeah, it's fucking insane, folks. It's insane. What am I survey? Ask my home address and credit card number? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. What else has been going on recently? Is there anything insane? We talked about the shooting and the more Erica Kirk stuff. Yes, right. So apparently, Erica Kirk and what's her name? And Candace Owens, they shot the shit. They chopped it up and it's fine and there's no beef anymore. Or something. I'm so excited to see what. Here we go. Erica and I had a productive 4.5-hour meeting that I think we both feel should have taken place a lot earlier than it did. We agreed much more than I had anticipated. Of course, we also disagreed on various points. Most importantly, we were able to share intel and clarify intent. I will, of course, have a full rundown for you all tomorrow, as I'm currently exhausted. I want to quickly let you guys know that absolutely nothing was held back, and the immediate result was that tensions were thawed. I cannot wait for her to come back and make a video where she's like, here's even more evidence that she killed her husband. Because I'm sure that that is like the type of, like, that is the way that Candace Owens is. That there's like there's an immediacy effect, but then when she's like able to get back to her own devices, she's just going to use it to continually slander her more. This was awesome.
Right there.
What is like he needs to not. No one looks like that, right? Like that's eyeliner.
right? There's just these basic cadences of life that I think are really powerful.
Like genuinely, like that's eyeliner.
And really, really valuable when you have kids in your life. And the fact that so many people, especially in America's leadership class, just don't have that in their lives, you know, I worry that it makes people more sociopathic and ultimately.
Yeah, it's fascinating to me that he looks like that. He looks so bad. It is very like the most annoying type of like millennial gay. It's very giving Tim Dillon, yeah. It's very much so giving Tim Dillon. Peter Thiel was fucking him on the reg. No, I think Thiel. Can you? I guess you can just accuse people of pedophilia. It doesn't matter. Anyway, this is insane. One of the funniest. Whenever I think of Peter Thiel, there's a video of like a bunch of like ripped, like shirtless guys, and they're doing like one of the. I can't remember what this machine is called. And it's like, this is how Peter Thiel mines his Bitcoin. They're rowing, yeah. But yeah, this is like goodbye Twitch. He should be saying goodbye Twitch forever, but it should be for a different reason. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is this fucking Reddit bullshit? Like, this is him fighting abuse allegations. And then, of course, there has to be, like, an Asian woman in the video for him to, like, physically assault. Joining prison.tv. Like, of course, he, in the video, picks up an Asian with him, pushes. It's so fucking Reddit. And people were pointing out the video of him where he was like talking about how he would never join Kick because they tried to get him killed, which I don't even know what that's about, but it's like it's just so fucking lame. Oh, it's so Reddit, because he's joining the dark side. It's so fucking Reddit, dude. Oh, no, he's... Okay. I don't... Is he saying the Kick is, like...
It's time you joined the dark side.
I don't understand. Why would it be green? Oh, because Kick is green. I see. Because it's purple as the lightsaber. I see. Oh, brother. This guy stinks. Yeah. I will not go to Kick, period. That's it. Why? Their owner made me try to kill myself. I will not go to Kick. It is just a humiliation ritual. I can't imagine he's not going to get that many viewers on Kick. That's the thing about Kick is, like, there aren't actually that many viewers there. Like, you get the... I mean, I guess he just probably got a deal. It'd be funny if he didn't. It'd be funny if he wasn't getting paid, like, extra amount. They're like, you don't have anywhere to go. You get the bots in the bag, yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. Anyway, it's embarrassing. It's so deeply embarrassing. You find the most, like, embarrassing way to do it. I mean, at this point, what else? I guess he's just a deeply embarrassing figure whose reputation has been destroyed. If it ever wasn't destroyed, I mean, he was making a comeback. Just retire. I mean, I'm sure he has enough money to retire. I saw this tweet. It was good. I was thinking about it from HTML Jones. Being trans is mainly hard work and or money. It's like 10% luck. You need to tattoo bigger bricks than you have turned it onto your soul. I promise you, being stuck at home on the computer isn't actually a bad hand to be dealt. So I think there was just a discussion. I love bigger bricks than you've turned it as like a motto. You wake up in the morning. I mean, yeah, that is just the. I think there was discourse. I can't say that I care. As a cisgender woman, I support all. No, I was gonna get very ironic there, but I probably that's probably not a good line to. As a cisgender woman, I support all gender minorities. Even if they're silly. So I hope everyone has fun. That's my takeaway. Yes, Ludwig apologized to him 2 weeks before the allegation. I remember that. As a cis woman, I stand with the bricks. Yeah. That's why, like, people were like, protect the dolls. We need a shirt that says protect the bricks. And it's like, do you really want cis people to be wearing a shirt that says protect the bricks? Like, maybe the answer is yes. But you know what I mean? Like, as a cis woman, I support all trans women, even when they're bricky. Like, nope. That can't be the answer. What is a brick? Don't worry about it. Getting finance bros to buy, I think I mean Coke. Yeah. Exactly. Don't worry about it, kid. Exactly. Anyway. I need vocabulary word every stream. Many such cases. Protect the Brazil, Russia, India. Exactly. That would make a good tweet, I'm sure. As a cis woman, I do not want to joke about the term brick on Twitter, obviously. Protect the fish would be crazy. Cis Agar. Smile. What else is happening on the internet that I don't. Doesn't Halamid has been making, speaking of cis women, speaking of people who are definitely cisgender, Halamid has been making a bunch of Substack articles, hasn't she? And they're very funny. Where it's like how to buy a trans woman a Christmas gift or something. They're interesting. Let's pull this up. Halamid. Halamid's list of gifts for transgender women. Principle for good gift giving. I still need to buy people gifts for fucking Christmas. I'm so. Principles for good gift giving. Know the recipient well. Get her something she would never get herself. A fancy version of something cheap. A permanent version of something disposable. Something a little more daring than she would allow herself normally. Experience gifts are great here. As a trans girl short on money, as transphobia so often ensures they are, may not feel like she can justify these purchases herself from mere memories. Use your specific expertise in gifting. That doesn't mean getting her something you want for yourself. It means leveraging your knowledge to get her something she doesn't yet know she'll be delighted by. You also want to keep in mind that you don't want to talk down to her. Her relationship to her femininity is often raw and sensitive. And giving her a bunch of skincare, for instance, might imply to her that you think she needs to take better care for her skin. Which maybe she does, ! But it may still be rude. It is the recipient's opinion, not yours, that matters in such cases. You can get her makeup, hair care, or skincare products, but be sure that she isn't going to feel humiliated by receiving them. Clothing and shoes may require sizing. You want her to feel good about her body. Get her something with a clear and appealing use case. Do not get her that $600 cashmere, even if you can afford it. I know it would be so soft on her and she would look so good in it. But remember, giving a gift creates a connection. And if that connection is one of obligation, she'll feel trapped and come to resent you. It is possible that she likes feeling trapped like this sexually. But if that is the case and you know it, then you don't need my gift guide. And I'm happy for you. Really, I am. Trans women are often the type to decline gifts. With the holidays, this is your chance to make sure she has the things she needs. And nice things besides without her turning them down. Consider also just giving her some money in addition to whatever you give her. Things are hard for trans. Oh, and I just want to give a shout out to the New York Times for their egregious both sidesing on trans issues. Thank you, Queen. Without which I would still be enjoying the Grey Ladies company and subscription would be high on the list. I wish you were better and I miss modern love, but I can't justify subscribing again until you publish an apology and back transgender rights. Before we get started, I want to take a second to let you know these are all non-affiliate links. Every product, oh shit, so it's actually every product in like zero money whatsoever because of a lack of any kind of advertising deal on the products in question. So if I manage to convince you to get something and you click through, I don't benefit at all, except by knowing you got something nice for somebody who deserved it, possibly even yourself. That's because I haven't partnered up with anybody to bring you any kind of discount and 0% savings when you put any kind of code or otherwise. Categories. For the trans who's always cold, for the trans girl gamer, who prefers non-video games, who needs help with healthcare, you have your eyes on Winky, repentant weeaboo, unrepentant weeaboo, girl who loves mecha, girl who deserves a sword, girl who makes things, who just needs to relax, transgender rationalist who needs feminism, who belongs in the kitchen without the misogyny, plushies, for the girl of exquisite taste. For the trans girl who's always cold, a blood test and iron supplements. A soft blanket for her couch. This is a very long article, actually. Pajamas are nice, but there's nothing like the full body looseness and softness of a plush robe. Not having periods doesn't mean her tummy won't hurt. Get her a heating pad for pain relief and make her use it. An electric kettle scales to any budget and is tremendously convenient. For the trans girl gamer, this will depend very much on the kind of game she likes. Girl who likes parrying furries, those who like Hollow Knight too easy but love Silk Song, who found Hollow Knight too easy, and our cinephiles will enjoy Nine Souls, Red Candles Game's blistering Taoist condemnation of the CCP. I do like one of my favorite details of the character is the real person that's actually real, is like her commitment to like classical liberal values. This is much longer than I thought it was gonna be. You can get her some dice, of course. Dice never go amiss. But if you want something more thoughtful, get her some card sleeves for the various board games with cards she already has. That's great advice. A hard copy of a TTRPG, Treasure's Room or Left to Read Glitch, Lancer, or Beam Saver. A storage organizer for a specific game off Etsy. Wood components for a copy of Wingspan. Or if she really wants a real challenge, Corwell's Root, which I found very difficult but very worth it. Lance, I don't know what any of these are, I'm going to be honest. Maybe I'm the very difficult series, but plan to play at least 3 full games before you get it. Destroyed my cis years with this. Okay, for the trans girl you have your eye on, a nice glass statement vase. She probably won't have one around. She'll smile and thank you, go put it away, thinking she'll never get any use out of it. Why'd you get it for her anyways? And then you bring out the flowers. Refresh is needed. No, this will not work for T4T relationships, so don't try it. It's very funny. It's good. It's very funny. They're very good. They're very good newsletter articles. Anyway. Yes, I can't remember why that came out, but I thought it would be funny. It's a good character. Just sip to imaginary to swim when I would never. Halamede is a Twitter character. Is the best way of explaining it. Anyway. No, not a lol cow. Do you think she's real? In a way, in the same way that I think that Santa Claus is real, like the spirit of Santa is real. You know, that's why you feel that way when Christmas starts happening. You know, like it's a real feeling. And you know what? Isn't that all that matters? Isn't that all that matters? That was another thing in Nuzzie's book, is she brings up this like author. Oh God, I forgot about this. There's like a children's author that has a book about like, it's someone who has like a crayon and then they draw things and they make the things real. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? It's like an old children's book. Is it Harold? Yeah. Like that is, I feel like first off, unrelated, but it's like she's real in this way that like, you know, Harold with the crayon can make things real. I'm actually unfamiliar with this children's book. She describes it in the purple crayon. But it's funny because like there's a bit in the Nuzzie book where she's like, Donald Trump is a lot like Harold in the purple crayon, where he just like makes things real out of nowhere. Like he just imagines that things are real and just without dealing with the consequences, but like in an evil way. And then the next thing, it does a hard cut, and it's like it pastes this like criminal file on this like guy from the 50s, where it's like suspected communist. And then she explains right after, it's like this guy was suspected as a communist and almost got charged for it in the 50s. Afterwards, he would go on to write Harold in the Purple Crayon. Which is like, oh, okay, it's crazy that the Carol in the Purple Crayon guy almost like got arrested for McCarthyism, and that Trump is like the purple Harold of the Purple Crayon, but in a bad version. That's really interesting. I'm glad you kept that in the book. It's the word. I don't even know like what the comparison is there. I don't really understand why she said that. Did she have an editor? Probably not enough of one. Clearly. Like, she was a fine journalist, too. Like, just clear that she should not be given free rein. It is a testament to the fact that, like, someone can get really good and disciplined doing a particular type of writing. Then you ask them, like, to do whatever the fuck they want, and it's just complete dog shit. And it's like, yeah, maybe you need someone who forces you to not say this. This is why we have to bring back like imperial Chinese like examination system stuff, where it's like you can't. There's no original. Like this is, at this point, this is what they should do to like. There's no original thought allowed. You have to quote from like Confucius literature. If Elizabeth Nuzzie, she would be great as like a you know, a regional administrator or something, but you don't give her like a book where she can do whatever the fuck she wants. Hernax, oh god, yeah, that's another guy. That was the take about like Nuzzie going on Adam Freeland show I liked, was that they should bring on Lizzo. Like that's the real get. Is Lizzo. Is the scorned ex-fiance. They kind of do deserve each other, honestly. One of the really funny things that you see from the book that's made really clear is that like she fucking hates him. Like she does not feel bad about it at all. Ryan Lizzo, yeah. She does not feel bad at all. She's like, good, fuck that guy. And like cucks him by cheating with two old, like disgusting old Republicans in their 70s. And it's clear that the takeaway that she has is like, how dare you have told people about the thing that I did? Which, like, I mean, it seems like this has been contested. That, like, Lizzo, I'm just gonna call him Lizzo. That, like, Lizzo is the one who, like, actually broke the story in the first place. Like, told Nuzzy's editor. This was originally reported, but it seems like it's not necessarily the case. And, like, that makes it even funny. Because, like, yeah, I mean, I feel like that's how we do cheating Discord. Like, that's a understood thing. It's insane to be like, how dare you tell people that I cheated on you? Like, to have a chip on your shoulder about that is very funny. Yeah, it's clear she does not feel like she did anything wrong. I think that is like, she's like, well, maybe I should have, but like fundamentally it doesn't reflect on me poorly. Olivia Nuzzi, Karen Jean-Pierre, and Eric Trump have all written the same book. This is a fascinating fucking title. That's so awesome. I can't say that I've ever read Eric Trump's book, but I think that that's probably true. That is a classic, like, abuser thing. Is like, how dare you have told your friends the thing, like, just describe the things that I did to you. Like, they don't like me now. That's fucked up. The sanitized pre-campaign. So it's Olivia Nuzzi. I don't know who this is. Is that embarrassing? Oh, this lady. Yeah. Sure. That's very funny. Sanitized pre-campaign memoir, Ghazi life story mixed with vague policy projects and odes to American goodness. Yep. No, that's the one. There's a post-campaign memoir, usually by the losers, assessing the strategy and shifting through the wreckage. There are memoirs by up-and-comings who dream of joining the arena, by aging politicos, rewinding their careers once more before the opus start to land. There are memoirs by former staff members who realize that proximity to power gives them a good story, and memoirs by journalists who chronicle power so closely that they imagine themselves its protagonists. But a recent spate of books highlights the presence of a new category, one well suited to our time, the grievance memoir. No, I like the outraged by affronts, real and imagined, fixed on nefarious, often unspecific enemies, obsessed with the narrative over the facts, and oblivious to the complicity and the conditions they decry. Did you get an invite to InfoWars? Of course I did. Obviously. I'm their number one pundit. The authors, a third child embracing onto his father's legacy, I can't read, and political grudges, a former White House press secretary groping for a new brand, critique political journalists enmeshed in a self-made scandal, are animated, above all, by a certainty that they've been wronged, not just by people or institutions, but also by broader forces. Yes, they're ancillary characters inflating themselves into victims, heroes, and even symbols. Is the inevitable memoir style for a moment where everyone feels resentful, oppressed, overlooked, in a word, aggrieved. Jean-Pierre, who serves as President Biden's second press secretary, recounts her departure from the Democratic Party in favor of a newfound political independence. She is motivated not by differences on values or policy. She still supports, quote, many of the party's pillars and remains in sync with the vast majority of the Democratic base, but by the shoddy treatment she feels she received after his disastrous debate with Donald Trump in 2024. Pushing Biden from the re-election campaign was mean-spirited and incredibly disappointing, she writes. The betrayal of a statesman. God, they really need to just, like, throw all of Biden worlds, like, under the fucking jail. Inner telling, Biden's calamitous debate performance was troubling, not because it laid bare serious problems with the commander-in-chief, but because it, quote, reinforced the growing narrative about his frailty. Quote, I embraced for the narrative they'd spin after the shaky display, she writes, criticizing the news media. The debates gave credibility to the narrative they'd been building for a year. That was another really funny component of the Nuzzy stuff, is that, like, Nuzzy was one of the main people who actually, like, talked about Biden's senility. Which is really funny to think about. And a part of, like, the divide there, when this drama was initially starting, was, like, the Biden world people hating her so much. Like, it was the anti-Biden lib journalists who were, like, standing by her. A good reminder that like they are all evil and they all suck. Even the ones where you're like, well, it's good that it's like, no, they're It's an occupational hazard of politics to assume that events and facts do not mean real things themselves, but only strengthen or weaken prevailing narratives. Reality is background noise that can be adjusted up or down or just ignored. Dismiss Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson's 2025 book, Original Sin, which detailed how campaign and White House officials camouflaged Biden's decline with uninformed ease. Remember when that was a fucking hot take? It's really profound. Like, someone was saying, this is the thing that Felix said, about like, you just get nothing. I mean, I'm sure many people have said it. You get nothing for being right early. The only thing that you get is that like annoying people argue with you when it isn't the majority opinion yet. And then when it happens, they're just like, well, I don't know. You just don't get anything. It's like all of the fucking people who are mad at me as well as many for like just obviously calling what is going on here very early. I mean, it was so obvious at a certain point. It was absurd. Though she praises Biden's patriotism and leadership, Jean-Pierre's devotion to her old boss flows in part from what he did for her. She stressed that he, quote, gave me an opportunity to make history as the first black and openly queer White House press secretary. She repeatedly cites her history-making credentials. When it's like, yeah, she didn't... I forgot who this lady was. I saw her on video sometimes. Based less on anything she accomplished on the job than on the fact that she held it at all. She unwittingly showers a damning verdict on her performance. The Democratic Party must ask, quote, why couldn't articulate the achievements of the Biden-Harris administration well enough to get Harris across the finish line? Jean-Pierre writes, as though articulating those achievements had not been the press secretary's job. That's true. She acknowledges that the party's messaging has been ineffective and muddled. It says Democrats must move beyond the poll-tested talking point-based way that they have communicated or largely governed with for years. Okay, but wasn't she standing at the lectern for many of those years? What's the? I wanna go to the. What does he say about Nazi? I mean, I'm sure the Trump book is like so. Wait, where is the? But such as. When you complain about disfigured public narratives about private matters, as Nazi does early in American Canto, then perhaps your memoir could clarify those matters. That's a good point. But Nazi, who had an affair, emotional or digital, also, by the way, it's so obvious that they fucked. It's so obvious that she had sex with RFK Jr. In the book, you can see, like, they're around each other when they're, like, in love with each other, when they're writing these, like, poems. Like, it's so, like, she talks about this being the case. The idea that she's, like, with a straight face saying, like, no, it was only digital. It's so funny. It's a weird thing to deny. It's because they can deny it. Like, both her and RFK stuck to this story because it's like, we can deny because they can't prove that we physically had sex. Who had an affair emotionally or digitally or perhaps metaphysical or maybe just nonsensical with RFK Jr. while covering his 2024 presidential campaign, as a result lost her job as Washington correspondent, does nothing so enlightening. Instead, she has written a book that, teetering between evocative and overwrought, crashes right through overwrought, splats into ridiculous, and rolls in the muck of an unintelligible, all while attempting to be literary. Quote, lines recede, borders dissolve, when you look very closely for very long at anything, Nazi writes. The familiar fades into the foreign. You do not know, then you do not know, and then you know so well, and then you walk through the door of your life for the first time again. Over the years, I've appreciated Nazi's political profiles, as well as her posts of journalism. But I don't know how much of American Canto, but I don't know what much of American... I'm having a stroke. I do not know what much of American Canto means, what the intended audience may be. Is it Kennedy, whom she refers to as the politician, with whom she still appears somewhat smitten? Is it her ex-fiancé and vengeful substacker Ryan Lizza, whom she alludes to only as, quote, the man I did not marry? You're right, that's a Biden. You're right. Sure. You got it. Sure. You got me. I can't contest that one. She makes a point of stressing that she was the one who left, that the engagement ring felt like a burden. Again, it's so funny how much contempt she has for Lizza. that Liz's infidelity did not trouble her, that she pitied him, and that she's heard he would still take her back. So yes, clearly everyone has moved on here. But no, American Kanto seems even more navel-gazing, as though Nuzzie's audience of one is herself. That's a great way of putting it. The book reads like, can you pronounce it like pizza? Wait, pronounce what? Liza? Litza? The book reads like diary entries packed between hardcover binding, self-indulgent, meandering pages. I think this is the thing I said before, where it's like, it's clear that all these things have personal meaning in her life, but like, she is not explaining why they mean anything. She's not explaining why this Nietzsche quote, this like, in it, she literally has the, like, there are cathedrals everywhere for those with the eyes to see. Like, she's not explaining what that has to do with personal anecdote about her childhood and a Nietzsche quote, and why that has anything to do with, like, the state of America. She attempts some... I know the book reads like her diary because a little past halfway, she drops in a few pages worth of old journal entries. Yes, she does. She just puts an old journal entry. She attempts some Didion-esque flourishes, of course, that's what it is. She carries around Joan Didion's 1987 book, Miami, constantly mentions the Santa Ana winds and calls California the cliff at the end of the country, like Didion, who said it was when we run out of continent. But the result is more like the Trite album. Nuzzy acknowledges a monumental error that collided my private life with the public interest, yet she rarely takes responsibility for it. She was used to getting away with things, she explains, because she'd been, quote, named to all the silly lists that connote mainstream status and valorize youthful achievement. It was therefore considered good for business by her employers. At one point, she describes journalism as, quote, the one place where I can never lie, and then admits that she breached, quote, the threshold of this pristine territory, but she appears more eager to describe her persecution than her own mistakes. Diddy-esque. I loved, there was someone who made a tweet of where they were like, the most Kafkaesque thing in, the Metamorphosis has got to be the fact that he turns into a bug and then is immediately like, oh no, I can't go to work this morning. And I just love the idea of calling a Kafka book Kafkaesque. Like, I hope so. I hope it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, make sure you didn't pick up like the wrong book. Like accidentally reading Dr. Seuss and you're like, this isn't Kafkaesque at all. There's no Kafka in this at all. Like, yeah, I'm sure it is. I don't, Nuzzy laments that birds of prey are circling around her, that she was the victim of a quote-unquote siege, that word again, of hyper-domestic terror. This is another thing, is like the white woman tears. She's like, I thought that RFK was going to kill me. It's like, I mean, I guess. I don't know. I can't say I feel especially... And then also that, like, Lizzo would kill her. In her book that she asked her brother once asked her if she could kill Lizzo, and that she said no, so maybe they're even. That is true, as her brother was like... However, unforgiving the men in her life behave, and they do seem to, there's one man who becomes even more crucial than Kennedy or Lizzo. It's Donald Trump. Oh god, the Trump stuff, I honestly skimmed through so much of it. Because it's just like boring personal anecdotes where she's with Trump. Attempting to place her story in the sweep of history, she ties her transgression to him. Lines I crossed, I'm talking of course about how it happened between me and the politician. How it happened. I'm talking of course about how it happened between the country and the president. I cannot talk about the one without the other. This is just self-absolution of the grievance memoir. This is the self-absolution of the grievance memoir. Things did not just happen to me, they happened to us. That's a very good way of putting it. Yeah. Hold on. Where's the... Throughout her book, Nuzzy revisits her coverage of the president, offering insights that by now seem like their subject, old and tired. It's just boring. Crowd sizes are his favorite metric, she reports. Despite his apprentice fame, he has a hard time firing people. Loyalty for Trump is, quote, a vow that went in one direction. The president became a mirror in which the country sees itself reflected. America Kondo, she writes in the author's note, is about character, her own and Trump's. None of the character he has so affected. It is not clear to me why Nuzzie's story is inextricable from Trump's, unless she is suggesting that his habit of picking and choosing the reality he believes and the principles he upholds somehow transformed her, along with so many more. That is kind of what she's implying a bit. There is a bit I remember where she talks about like being sucked into manga world, that it's like, you know, power, the power of it, just so much gravity, you can't help but like, which like, again, isn't very convincing, because it's like, that doesn't mean that you have to fuck RFK Jr. Like, oh yeah, I've been covering Trump as a reporter since 2014. This means I have to accept love poems from RFK Jr. about how he wants to come in my mouth or whatever. You don't like, that doesn't, those don't follow. You didn't explain why that was the case. You didn't explain why those things followed. His lawlessness inspired lawlessness. His rejection of norms called norms into question, she says. She was trapped in the field of distortion, and that she could feel the unstoppable start of the pulling apart and apart and apart and apart. Is this what led her to commit journalistic malpractice? Is it what made Nuzzy, by her own admission, lie to her bosses and to reporters about her relationship with Kennedy and advise him on political strategy while still imagining herself as a journalist? Should we just blame it all on the distortion field generated by Trump? It is a convenient explanation. You might even call it a narrative. That thing we call Trump world, Nuzzy explains, is not just the people surrounding the president, jostling for influence or begging for scraps. It feels like it began to feel like a description of the country unzipped. It really says a lot about society. The state of disunion and delirium in the distortion fields that engulfs the world of us amid his rise. That unzipped cannot be accidental, can it? That's true. Anyway, that's very funny. That's very well put. It's just, it says a lot about society, and then all of the Trump stuff is like very trite. It's like hard to explain really, like what the argument she's even making about, because again, it's like, it's supposed to be like, well, the thing that happened with me and RFK is like Trump, what happened with Trump in America, but like she doesn't explain why. She just has like Trump. She just has the Trump anecdotes there in an entirely different part of the book. My Havana syndrome is making me fuck creepy old Kennedys. Having a sex with the Kennedy? No. Eleanor Mars' son got pulled over by ICE. Is he okay? Like he was taken into. Yeah. He got released. Right, like, so he was properly, like... Yeah. Did this, like, just happen? 4 hours ago. Eleanor says your son was pulled over by ICE, which claims zero record of the incident. So they're denying it. Yesterday, after he made a stop at Target, he got pulled over by ICE. And once he was able to produce his passport, they did let him go. Always carries his, but the concept of having to always carry your passport with you in like a country you're born in is like horrifying. I don't even, why are they denying this? Like, I don't even, like, you're saying you don't do that? Like, fuck off. Allegations that ICE engage in racial profiling are disgusting. Like, does anyone fucking believe this? Why even, like, what is even the, like, you're posting edits about, like, you're posting, like, Sabrina Carpenter edits about deporting, like, non-whites. Yeah, like, what are we doing here? I don't fucking... Anyway, if you have an Amazon Prime account, you can connect it to your Twitch account and get a free subscription you can use on me. Ugh. Yeah, we're tweeting remigration. Yeah, like what? I don't understand. Like, yeah. I mean, I guess it's for like the 10% of Republicans that are pretending, like still pretending that's not going on. I don't know. Because either like you're for ICE removing all of the non-whites, or like you're against it. You're not like ICE isn't doing that at all. I guess there are mega people who think it's not about race, it's about crime. I mean, that was like the what's it called? That was the Joe Rogan thing where he was like, I thought they were just gonna arrest all the people doing crime and the illegals, not just like people who were hanging out and not causing any problems. I thought there would just be so many illegals doing a shit ton of crime, and it's like, really, man? I was wondering why, like, how these people are actually going to get away with supporting crime. And a part of it's probably going to hurt their careers, but a part of it is like, well, all of the young guys, like, they are canaries in a coal mine for like young white guys. Because like Zoomers have like, we now, like, Americans now live in a boomer Reich. Because like the approval, even of like people who voted for Trump who are younger, has like really shifted negatively in a way like it hasn't for like Gen X. People who voted for Trump. And like the reason why those people are going to do fine, those like is because like their audience also used to like Trump and have decided they don't like him now. So like they got the same thing wrong. So like of course they're not going to hold it against fucking Andrew Schultz or whatever. This is wild. Nick Fuentes delivers brutal takedown of Erica Kirk. I mean, you know, it's like a Klinsky. I want to watch this. Klinsky is doing things you've never thought possible before.
So I don't know if you guys saw this, but the other day on CBS, you had another brilliant Barry Weiss idea. She decided, I'm going to do a town hall with Erica Kirk so she can yell at Americans. Real great idea. Some of the other brilliant ideas she had Alan Dershowitz debate Dana Loesch on guns. That was weird and nobody gave a shit about that one. She had Hillary Clinton and Condoleezza Rice in conversation. It's another one nobody gave a shit about. These are all the ideas that Barry Weiss... Why is
he going blonde? Why did he get his roots done like sooner than I have? What is going on?
Things are like brilliant. The real
Can someone
reason Barry
explain
Weiss
this?
now runs CBS is very simple. The new owners, the Ellisons, they want to make sure that CBS does not go too hard on Israel and does not go too hard on MAGA.
We think it's natural. We think jealousy true. Listen, I'm getting them done. I'm getting my ears done tomorrow, okay? Then I'll be back. To...
That's the whole point. But Barry Weiss is also a total failure. She's failed up her entire life. She doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. She ran her little thing called the Free Press, and she was getting like 6,000 or 7,000 views per video on YouTube. And now she's running CBS, a media empire. It's absurd. They said she got paid, what was it, like $150 million or $200 million for the Free Press? That's preposterous. If she's worth $150 million or $200 million, Secular Talk is worth like $10 billion, right? Like, that's ridiculous. It's absurd. Of course it's not fucking worth that much. She's basically a henchman for the billionaire class and a henchman for Zionism. That's what it is. And a henchman for, you know, enlightened centrism. She's going to go softer.
Kyle is so geometric as a person. That's a very
on MAGA.
Good
so
insight.
Anyway, she does this town hall with Erica Kirk. And, man, look, Erica, stop talking. You're not helping. Remember when I tweeted that spicy ass Erica Kirk meme and New York Post wrote an article about me and all these right-wing outlets wrote articles about me and
which one was this?
all of right-wing Twitter. I was the villain of the day on right-wing Twitter. Here we are. However, what is this? Like a month or two later, and
it is unfortunate. Like Kyle is history on horseback. Like he is actually like dark woke.
Now all of a sudden, everybody agrees with Kyle. everybody's making fun of this disgusting display of profiteering off of Charlie's death, right? Which is what's happening. They're grifting.
The fact that he has the platinum blonde hair too. Like it's like the fucking Agartha memes.
Off of Charlie. She's got a book. Had a book like this, a book out of nowhere she created. And now she's going on all these shows and shit. And it's a mix of like, send us money, send us adoration, but if you point out how weird this is that I'm on a world tour after my husband got shot in the neck.
He's trying to ease into gray. That's actually probably true. That's actually probably
well,
true.
You're
I hadn't thought about it enough, but yes, that
terrible
is
person. It's not working. Even Republicans are like, what the fuck is this? So anyway, you all know there's this right-wing civil war going on. Nick Fuentes is part of that right-wing civil war. But even he's like, you know what? Even you would think that, you know, there'd be clear defined sides in this civil war at this point, but there's not anymore. It started out with like Tucker and Candace and Nick against like Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro and those types. But now everybody
I do think that is probably straight
seems
done,
to be
yeah.
fighting with everybody else. So Nick is fighting not only with Candace, but now also with Erica Kirk, even though he's with Erica Kirk in the sense that he doesn't think Charlie was killed by some grand conspiracy. He thinks Tyler Robinson did it. So he's a natural ally of Erica on this issue, but even he's so put off.
Fuentes isn't an ally of anyone. Like he very much so makes sure that he's not positioned as the same as any other. You could see this after he had that like amicable interview with Tucker, and then immediately he was like, I don't know, he kind of seems like a Fed and he's gay still.
Off by how she's acting, that now he just laid a brutal smackdown on her on his show while talking about this disgusting display of a town hall. Watch this.
So Erica Kirk does a show with Barry Weiss on CBS. It's like a town hall. It's going to air this weekend. They published a clip. And Barry Weiss says to Erica, she goes, what do you have to say to Candace Owens and these people that are pushing conspiracy theories? And Erica, like, dude, oh my. And the Oscar goes to Erica, her face, her expression hardens, and she goes, stop. And we're supposed to be like, oh, whoa, she means business. No, you stop. No. You need to stop. Did you guys see the clip? So she's on with the Israeli spy, Barry White.
Is Kyle a red brown guy? No, I don't think that Kyle can be. Kyle is dark woke. And like the dark woke slop dem people. I like slop dem too. Have been like, well, when Nick Fuentes talks about like national socialism, like we're not quite fond of the nationalism bit, but the socialism bit, maybe he's kind of based.
After she's grabbing JD Vance's ass.
Kyle is actually
Goes,
existing.
so what do you have to say to Candace
Dirtbag
Owens who built her
leftism.
business lying about blah, blah? And Erica Kirk makes this like face.
Loamstar, thank
she
you.
Goes, stop. That's it.
And by the way, I'm the bad guy for saying this before anybody else. I was the bad guy for saying this before anybody else was saying it. Now everybody agrees. Always vindicated in the long run. Always vindicated in the long run.
And we're supposed to be like Saint Olga in the flesh. The battle cry of the cries of the widow. Like, come on.
I mean, is he wrong? He's not wrong. By the way, to be fair, Candace had said, if Erica tells me to stop, I will stop. She had said that in the past. So now Erica did the whole thing where she says, stop.
I still love, my favorite Kyle moment is still when he was watching like the Mehdi Hassan debating like 20 actual fascists. And he's like, I get why they had, I get why Stalin was, why they had gulags.
You're not gonna,
because it was like, oh, you know, they had, you motherfuckers weren't gonna behave.
Make a wild guess what Candace said in reaction to that. She said, oh, of course I'll stop. But tell me what lie I've told. This is what Candace said. Because Barry set up the question by saying, there's a lot of people lying about what happened to Charlie in the aftermath. What do you say to those people spreading conspiracies? And Erica said, stop. And so now you have Candace going, I'll stop lying. But guess what? I haven't been lying. So there's that, right? Like, you want me to stop lying? Done. I didn't lie before. I'm not going to lie in the future. So I'm going to keep talking about that stuff. Sorry. So, I mean, look, it is a 180 from Candace saying she would stop if Erica told her to stop. But Candace's, loophole, her wiggle room was like, oh, I will stop lying, but I haven't lied yet. So it is what it is. You're going to have to deal with it. So there is no way. I don't know what Erica Kirk thinks she's doing. Do you think this is actually going to work? Like, if anything, you're...
Anyway, I mean, that's always what happens with these, is that, like, the clickbait title... I like that is just, like, everyone is Ben Shapiro now. Like, we've all agreed that that's how to get a shit ton of views. Why is he bleaching his hair? I think that we've landed as a chat collectively, because this is a hive mind that I control, on that he's, like, just easing into going gray. Which, doing it as a guy is really funny. Because it's just do the salt. Like, the salt and pepper look is not bad. Like, with women who are, like, in, like, it's like, okay, I understand. It's easier to cope with, but, like, maybe it's Crystal Ball, which is so awesome. Am I easing into it? No. That would be very funny, though. Maybe Crystal likes, maybe it's so funny her name is Crystal Ball. It's like unreal. Like how evil do you have to be as a parent to have the last name Ball? And you're like, what do we name our child? Crystal Ball. I was thinking about, because I was looking at a bunch of Wikipedia articles, and there's like a joke here somewhere, but I was thinking about a guy whose name is Y chromosomal Aaron. Like, that's gotta be a punchline. The guy whose name is Y chromosomal Aaron. My name is, hi, I'm Y chromosomal Aaron. Y chromosomal Aaron would make a beautiful name for a baby boy. Anyway, I'm there's something there's some way of making that funny. And where are they from? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about which country they're from. That's not a part of the joke. Right above Greeble on the naming list. I agree with that. It's on Mubi, it's on Greeble. The number one pick of the 2026 drafts, the New York Giants select from Auburn, Y chromosomal Aaron. Yes, it's like the Japanese, exactly. Anyway. What else is going on? I don't know, Chad. I'm kind of tired. I might call it early, because I still have my episode to work on. You should join the Discord. It'll ping you when I go live. Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday for the streams. Yeah, thank you all for tuning in. I might be getting sick. I don't know. I hope not. I have some like phlegm. It's not good. It's not good, folks. Folks, it's bad news. It's bad news. We don't like it. We don't like to see it, folks. We don't like it one bit. Anyway, alright, Lance. Anyway. As long as it isn't green phlegm. Chiblee, I have phlegm, Chiblee. I'm getting sick, I think, Chiblee. Anyway, sorry. Bye.